So for English class last year, I was assigned to make a roller coaster about an Edgar Allan Poe poem. Now you may be asking, Lates, why the frig are you talking about school when this is a Minecraft channel? Well, because the teacher, let's call him Mr. Jeff, let us use Minecraft to build a roller coaster. You may also be asking, Lates, why the frig are you talking about school when it's the summer? Well, because I can. Anyways, with a week of school left, I had to write at least a one-page explanation of the roller coaster, create a title for the roller coaster, make the actual roller coaster, and come up with at least 4 souvenirs that are Poe-related. Easy. For the project, I read Masque of the Red Death because it was one of the easiest poems to understand, and I was done with school at this point, so I mean, can you blame me? Also, just to make sure we're all on somewhat the same page, here's a brief summary of the story so that you don't have to read it yourself. You're welcome. There's this plague going around that's killing people by making blood coming out of the pores and kills its victims within 30 minutes of contracting the plague that's called the Red Death. This guy, Principal Sparrow, is super rich and decides to bring 1,000 of his close friends to one of his giant palaces where they party all night and don't have to worry about the Red Death because the palace is closed off to the rest of the world. So while everyone else is panicking and begging for help, Principal Sparrow and his friends are drinking booze. One day, this bloody and cloaked figure appears in the palace and Principal Sparrow gets salty because the cloaked figure is basically reminding everyone in the palace about the Red Death. It's basically like wearing a Grim Reaper costume to a funeral. Anyways, Principal Sparrow sees this guy and starts to try and kill him because that's what people do to rude people this day and age apparently. In Prospero's palace, there are 7 rooms with the corresponding color. The order of the room's colors are the following: blue, purple, green, orange, white, violet, and black. There's also this ominous clock that's super creepy and tolls like every hour in the black room, so Principal Sparrow is chasing the cloaked figure, and then eventually they reach the black room where, oh no, the cloaked figure is actually the Red Death but personified. So Principal Sparrow dies on the spot because the Red Death is all-powerful and kills anything in its path. But apparently, Principal Sparrow's buddies don't realize this and instead charge towards the Red Death, and oh no, they all get KO'd too. The end. Okay, so the first day I planned everything out. I had originally wanted to just build Prince Prospero's palace, but I mean, come on, that's basic. How did I know that was basic?
Hey yo, guess what I'm doing? I'm building Prince Prospero's palace because I read Masque of the Red Death. Yo, that's so cool and original. Yo! Yo! Yo!
So, knowing this, I thought, what could possibly make my ride better and more creative than literally everyone else's? After a solid 5 seconds of thinking, the idea came to me. Time travel. You see, this story was supposed to take place during the 1800s. So, if I made some kind of time travel tunnel, then I could make the lobby and exit look decayed, while the palace would look as if the writer were living in Prince Prospero's palace during the Red Death. Or it could even be interpreted as the writer being Prince Prospero. So that's what I did. Anyways, after I got all the details of the ride finalized, I finished writing a terrible draft for my one-page explanation, built a mini lobby, and built a rough outline of the palace. I also didn't record myself building any of this because I hadn't thought of making this video. But now that I'm making this into a video, I kinda need to show what the outline looks like. Huh.
So what's gonna happen is they're gonna go up the elevator stuff and then into the lobby, and then they're gonna go through this corridor thing, and the ride's actually, this is where the ride actually starts, by the way, here, like right here, that's where the ride will actually start. There'll be like a mine cart and stuff like that, trust me. And then they'll go into the rainbow tunnel and be like, oh my gosh, I'm falling now, and then they'll be like super high, like psyched out, and then they'll like go through this calm corridor and be like, oh, everything's okay, everything's cool. They'll be back at ground level and all that, and they'll go to the blue room and be like, oh my gosh, it's so cool. Oh, they're shiny things. Wait. Shiny things, oh my gosh. And then they're gonna get out of here, and then they're gonna go through this calm corridor, and they're going to purple room and be like, oh my gosh, everything's purple, and then they're gonna go over to the orange room and be like, oh my gosh, everything's orange, everything's so shiny, oh my gosh, anyways, and then they're gonna go to the green room and be like, oh my gosh, there are leaves, can I draw a leaf? There's a leaf there, and then they're gonna go through a calm corridor and then go to the white room and be like, oh my gosh, it's like light theme on Discord, and then they're gonna go to the violet. That's pink. Let's just pretend that's violet for a sec. They're gonna go to the violet room and be like, oh my gosh, it's the violet room, and then they're gonna go through a calm corridor and then they're gonna be super duper scary, and then they're gonna be like, oh my gosh, and then here, this is where a bell will toll and be like, bong, and then they're gonna go here to the black room, and then the guy with the mask will be here, and the guy with the mask will be here and be like, you gonna die, and they're gonna be like, oh my gosh, and then they're gonna die, which is what this little tunnel resembles. They're gonna metaphorically die. And so they then ascend up to heaven, get it? And then they ascend back down because they're not actually dead. And then here's the exit, and they'll be like, yay! And then they can either literally exit, like here will be a little place where they can exit, or they can go over here where there will be a door and buy stuff, which is good because we want that money, and it's also because, well, you know, there's this thing called capitalism. So yeah, that's the ride. That's the blueprint. Yeah. I started off building the time travel tunnel, which would resemble a short fever trip. The idea was that the tunnel would start off rainbow, switch to black and white, and then switch back to rainbow. And before the drop, the rider would be splashed with nausea potions to give the I'm about to pass out from intoxication vibe. And once they landed, they would go through a palace corridor to finally enter the blue room. But I had greatly underestimated the height of the drop. After an hour had passed, only a third of the tunnel was done. By now, my attention span had already defenestrated itself, so I moved on to building the palace to prevent myself from passing out due to boredom. I started building the blue room by placing down the flooring, which I decided would be oak planks, since too much blue would be overwhelming. But when I was rereading an excerpt describing the rooms, I rethought my life decisions and decided that instead of making the room look pretty and normal, I would make everything blue. Walls blue, bed blue, floor blue, ceiling blue, chandelier blue, lamps blue. Oh, well, okay, well, not completely blue. Minecraft doesn't have blue glowstone, but you get the point. Anyways, once I was done with the blue room, 2.5 hours had passed. I had about half an hour of my sanity left until my brain would implode from the amount of thinking it had to do. So, I quickly built another corridor and then built the walls and ceiling of the purple room, which took 25 minutes and 99% of my remaining sanity. So, I stopped there and called it a day at 11:44 p.m. By the way, I'm a night owl and sometimes have insomnia episodes, so 11:44 is like nothing. But apparently, if you have a healthy sleep schedule and don't torture your mental health on a daily basis, then it's considered extremely late. I don't know, it's weird. I mean, as of writing this, it's 12:14 a.m. After contemplating my life decisions and finishing at least one of my class's homework, I hopped onto my PC and started building. And then proceeded to question my life decisions again. I've done 2. I still need to do 5 of these. But later in the day, when I had finished eating dinner and was rejuvenated, I started working on the build. But unknowingly, I had become the most productive I had ever been in my entire life, as in I finished the entire palace in only 3 hours. Every single room was completely finished, and all that was left was the lobby, the time travel tunnel, and the exit. Everything was starting to line up. I finally saw why the creator of this cruel world had put this challenge in front of me, because I was an anime protagonist in training, and soon enough I would be able to decimate entire worlds with a single snap of my finger. I was on my way to becoming as powerful as Thanos was with the Infinity Gauntlet. By the way, Thanatos is actually a god of death, and is pretty dang similar to the name Thanos. What I'm trying to say is, I'm as powerful as death, and those who don't help themselves and simply cry for help will perish! Anyways, that's what I did on day 3. After yesterday's success, I was as confident as ever. I even finished the entire time travel tunnel in 45 minutes. All that was left now were 2 main aspects: the exit of the ride and the lobby. I decided to work on building the lobby first because, I mean, seriously, how hard could it be? Answer the question. Okay, you're taking too long, so I'll just shout the answer. Very hard! Since the time travel tunnel was a solid 187 blocks high, by the way, I started building at Y level 4, so that's why it's 187 blocks and not 191 blocks, means I had to make the lobby 187 blocks high, which also meant I needed at least 2 bubble elevators for symmetry, and to make the ride not look weird, I had to make a giant tower. In addition to all this, I also needed a name for the roller coaster, so I called it Alan's Karma, since Prince Prospero was supposed to be what Poe thought of his foster father, John Allen, and since Prince Prospero dies, it would kind of be like karma getting holding back a John Allen since he was, well, a really bad person. But you don't get to see my thought process because I'd given up on recording and just wanted to get this dang project over with. I finished the lobby. That's what I did. I finished the lobby. I finished the lobby. And then I had to do some redstone, which I'm the absolute worst at. But I mean, all I had to do was make sure that the redstone was connected to the tripwire hook and dispenser, so then the nausea potions would splash onto the person and the minecart, and that was it. Except it wasn't, because nausea potions don't even exist. You can only get the potion effect from eating a pufferfish or using a command block. And at this point, I was so sleep deprived that I didn't even think of typing /effect give Minecraft nausea 1015 into a command block. In fact, I didn't even realize that I could just do /give to get a command block. So I did what any dumb person would do. I used speed splash potions. Because clearly, speed and nausea have very similar effects. We don't talk about this. Oh wait, you thought that's all that happened on day 5. 2 days until this project was due. No, because you see, so far I've only talked about writing my 1-page explanation, coming up with a title, and building a roller coaster. But do you recall all of the requirements for this project? I had to write at least a 1-page explanation of the roller coaster, create a title for the roller coaster, make the actual roller coaster, and come up with at least 4 souvenirs. I hadn't even thought about what my souvenirs would be. I didn't know anything. I was doomed. Not only did I still have to build the exit of my ride, but I also had to come up with my souvenirs and make the souvenirs look somewhat presentable. But it's times like these that challenge your inner character the most. Through these experiences, not only do you learn to become a better person, but you also gain valuable advice for those who truly need it. I speedran those souvenirs as if someone was holding a gun to my head and shouting, "Do your dang project or say goodbye to everything you love!" I had finished working on a Google Slides presentation for the souvenirs in class, where I put pictures, costs, materials, and everything you need to know about the products, like suffocation warnings, choking warnings, broken shards or lethal warnings, and ingestion warnings. So now that was finally out of the way. Anyways, I immediately started building the end tunnel for the ride, which I didn't record, until I realized I should be recording. Then I did. The tunnel is supposed to symbolize how Prince Prospero died a bloody death, which is why the tunnel is striped with redstone blocks, since redstone is what people use for blood in Minecraft, and black concrete, since black is supposed to resemble death. And then at the top of the tunnel, it turns white because people say, "I see the light," when they're about to die. But since the rider doesn't actually die, they get shoved back into the living world and go down another rainbow time travel tunnel. So now that I've explained what the tunnel means, it's back to explaining what I did. After I built the second time travel tunnel, I built the exit lobby, or whatever it's called. I'm calling it the exit lobby, and nobody can stop me. Anyways, it's basically just a lazier version of the actual lobby. Once I finished that, I started working on building the souvenir shop, but after a while, I decided it wasn't worth it anymore and proceeded to make a wooden box, slap some item frames, and called it a day. All I had to do now was record a video of me going through the ride, and then this project would be over. Now you may be saying, "Lights! There's no way you could be working on the day that this was due." Well, you see, the beginning of a day technically starts at 12 a.m. So here we are. Anyway, something crazy happened. I'm just kidding. I just recorded myself going through the roller coaster and added some music in Microsoft Video Editor. And then turned it in at like, I don't know, 1:30 a.m. I had originally wanted to make this video my final project because I thought it would be cool for people to see how this roller coaster came to be, and it would be a good opportunity for extra credit points. But as you saw through the video, I was struggling to just get the roller coaster built, which is why I made this video now. 3 months too late. So, to Mr. Jeff, thank you for being an awesome teacher. I don't know if you'll see this in the first place since I'll be sending it through your school email, but if you do ever watch this, I hope you know that I really enjoyed your classes, and I did try to actually learn in them, even though I was zoned out half of the time. And to my viewers, thank you for watching and making it this far into the video. And while school may be prison 2.0, just remember that if anyone makes fun of you, that gives you an excuse to call them a boomer. Oh, and also, subscribe!